So boom, we gonna react to this Charleston White video of him talking about love, cause it is some things I was with him in the first half, then he lost me, and I felt compelled to make this video. So let's watch this.
You can find the most beautiful black girl, but when you talk to her, man, this bitch ugly in a motherfucker. She got some stinking thinking. This bitch fucked up in the way she thinks. She have some unrealistic expectation of what a man is and what a man does with a woman. You know why? Her mama didn't have no man. Her grandmama didn't have no man. She been watching her mama in and out of fair relationship. Who showed her what a man is? How she so confident and accurate in her assessment in what a man does? Bitch just talking, ho.
So let's start here. He isolates, black women as far as how they think on a dating tip, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. So we'll start there, as far as black women and how they think and stuff like that. I wanna make this clear before I get into it. It's they're not a monolith, just like black men are not a monolith. I'm talking about when I mention black women through this, I'm talking about a good chunk. I wouldn't even say the majority, but the ones that I'm talking about subscribe to the shit that I'm about to mention. And there's no way for me to specifically identify this sector of black women and shit like that. So with that, when you look at the type of black woman he's talking about, it's the people who are fucking up the whole dating conversation. It's the people who brought the 50-50 conversation to the forefront, to the fold. It's the women like Carrie Hilson talking about, they submission has to be unlocked, and the way that they grew up, they had to be so masculine, and just all of this shit. Like all of those types of narratives that you only really see. You might see them now because when it comes to the relationship shit, you got to look at the Whatever podcast. You got to look at Fresh and Fit. And you got to look at all these other podcasts. It's become lucrative to have these conversations, especially with women. So you'll start to see some of these narratives come out of white women's mouths on these couches and stuff like that. But I promise you, when this shit started around 2016, because this shit, nobody was talking about 50-50 in '08, 2012. You're not going to find that wasn't a widespread conversation like 2016. It hit around 2016 when that shit started going crazy. I used to try and look for white people having these conversations. And the only thing I could find on Twitter, because you type in 50-50 back then, you'll see a bunch of black people having a 50-50 conversation. But every time I seen a white woman posting something about 50-50, as far as a relationship, the quote was always, no relationship is 50-50. It's 100-100. I'm going to give him my all. He going to give me his all. That's what it was. And it didn't have shit to do with no money. But when it comes to these specific black women that we're talking about, they are so invested in having conversations around money and dating and a man being a hyper provider, fucking paying for their whole life while they just stay at home and be air quote traditional, but at the same time they career women and they do their thing, and but when they traditional, they not doing all the shit that your great grandma did. They not really bringing real value to the home and shit like that. They fucking thirst trapping on Instagram and shit like that. And even then, these bitches is like far from pure and shit like that. It's not like they be having two bodies or nothing like that. These bitches done had a whole fucking 30-piece, 50-piece sex life and shit like that. And you think a nigga want to settle down with that? But all that's besides the point. Like when so it's like, they call the whole inflation basically, you getting, what you call it. They want you to be the super provider. They want you to be the man. They want you to step up so that they can be submissive. They can be conditionally submissive And at the same time, these is not like these are not the quality of women. Like, they freaky and shit like that. They'll motherfucking suck your dick from the back. They'll motherfucking do everything, bro. They'll do everything, man. They'll hum on your balls. You know, they'll let you crack her asshole and all that. They'll do everything. But, outside of the sex, it's just not the same quality of woman as your great grandma and shit like that. It's not the quality of woman that you could build a family with and shit like that. So with that being said, you know, we get that out the way. The whole thing about, you know, their expectations on what a man is supposed to be and what a man is supposed to do, that's very valid. You know, he mentioned parents who, or not parents, but women who grew up without a dad and stuff like that. That's valid. But you also have women who grew up, you know, with a dad. And if you look at the one video, there was a video that went viral some time ago, and it was a guy basically, you know, this dad bragging on camera about how he pay all his kids' bills, and he just paid all the bills, you know, and he's just this super fucking, he's providing for everything, and if a nigga can't pay all your bills, like, I'm paying all your bills, fuck that. So you even got dudes putting that and instilling that into their daughters. So it's dudes out here instilling that into their daughters. I could really like get deep on this, but I won't, because there's more to the video than just this. But I will just say this, and we'll end on this note. When it comes to the finances, as far as relationships now, we do not live in a 1950s economy. We don't live in a 1970s economy. We don't live in an economy where you can have 8, 12 kids and buy a house for $5,000 and, you know, just raise all the 8 kids and feed all the 8 kids and everything, and you still be in some type of acceptable looking poverty even in that situation. But at least you own the house. You know, we not in that situation no more. The situation we in, the houses, you can't even buy a house as an individual as far as most people in America. That's just what it is, man. You go look at the median salary, look at the fucking houses and shit. I ain't about to get into all that, but it's fucked out here financially. That's just what it is. And bitches is looking for a motherfucking Clark Kent Superman type figure. And good luck, because that's not the average nigga.
The women that niggas is calling hoes ain't real hoes, because hoes is loving and kind and sweet at all times.
Now, see, this is where we get to that baby bag bullshit. This is where we get to him trying to reinvent the wheel. He's trying to redefine what a hoe is. And this is the thing, because I looked at a lot of the comments on where I got the video from. Everybody is focused on the first part, and it's like, if you pair, you know, it's 2 truths and a lie type shit. If you pair the truth with the lie, and then, you know, you sandwich it in between the truth again, you know, people gonna go for it, especially if you're a polarizing figure like him. Let's break this down. He said, these women aren't hoes, as far as the people that we calling hoes, because hoes are kind, loving, and sweet all the time. Before I just say that's bullshit, let's really break down what a hoe is. A hoe is a promiscuous woman. That's what a hoe is. For you people who want to be gender fucking neutral, it's a promiscuous person. But if you really understand the dynamics of everything, only a babe can be a hoe, only a woman. That's just what it is. Just keeping it 500,000. So a promiscuous woman, that is the root of this shit. Now, as far as this word hoe, it is directly linked to whore, and it's also known as a derogatory term towards sex workers. You could go look that up. You'll see something like that. It's a slur, basically. But I say that to say that is the root. That is what it is rooted in. Now, when we get to the speculation and just the, everything else, any other sauce you want to put on it, it's about what a hoe's nature is or how hoes are and things like that. This is the thing about that, man. Like, there are jolly hoes, there are mean hoes, there are mischievous hoes, there are conniving hoes, there are jealous hoes, there are all types of hoes. Now, as far as my philosophy, hoes are destructive. I could probably get into that another day if y'all want me to. But if you go to the hardcore sex workers, we could start there. The prostitutes, the fucking we'll just go with prostitutes first. If you read something like Iceberg Slim, or you just watch pimp documentaries and stuff like that, these are not good women. They're damaged women. They are being taken advantage of to an extent by the pimps. You got to keep it 500,000. But even then, they still try and get over on the pimps, some of them. And even then, all hoes aren't the same. But they do things like steal. They do things like lie. They sell a nigga a dream and shit like that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And even then, to get to the point where you are selling your body, you have to be mentally fucked. That's just what it is. So, they can come off as sweet and stuff like that, but really, we'll go to the next one and you'll get it. Strippers. Strippers are the other type of sex worker and stuff like that. Now, you can say, well, strippers ain't hoes because they ain't fucking nobody. First off, those two things kind of go hand in hand, prostitution and stripping. They kind of do, because they're sex work, but at the same time, you're selling yourself. The second thing is, a lot of them actually do be fucking. Let's keep it a whole fucking stack. A lot of them actually do be fucking. Don't buy that whole, like, oh, I'm doing this for college, and, I'm a good girl, I got a boyfriend, we've been together for 18 years. Fuck all that shit, nigga. That bitch got some of the same damage that the bitch that's getting her hoes filled on camera on porn got. She got some of the same damage. That's just what it is, man. Keeping it 500,000. Don't no square chick with a good foundation, a solid family, no sexual abuse, no motherfucking relationship abuse, no trauma, no nothing. No, those bitches with healthy brains do not get out there on that pole. I promise you that. I promise you that. But regardless, let's get into it, man. Because, as far as that behavior, like as far as, she's giving her body to men and stuff like that, that's, that's in the same vein. So when you look at strippers and stuff like that, the thing about them, if you look at somebody like Cardi B, she wasn't fucking niggas, let her tell it. But what she was doing was finessing niggas into thinking she was going to fuck them. She drugged them, not caring if the drugs could possibly kill this person. You don't know what a person has going on medically. But she drugged these guys and took their jewelry and money. She robbed them. That's what Cardi B did. There are tons of other strippers who partake in the same activity. Even then, all right, okay, let's just pretend, man, that's a small, teeny percentage of strippers that's evil. And so if you know strippers, if you know niggas who know strippers, if you know bitches who know strippers, strippers are just the biggest, even if you watch a stripper documentary, they are the biggest finessers, man. They are the biggest finessers. They will have regulars that come in every time to see them. They fucking light up. They put on an act and stuff like that. I've heard dudes say they be chopping it up with a stripper. Then, somebody will come in and say, oh, Stinky Fred is in this bitch. He'll be like, oh my God, fucking Stinky. Oh my fucking God, I hate that motherfucker. And he'll turn around like, hey, Fred, how you doing? Oh. And just be all in his face trying to get that bread. All in his face trying to get that bread. So that's at the high levels of this hoeing shit. That's at the professional level of this hoeing shit. It's just so you are nice and sweet. No, these bitches are snakes. These bitches are snakes. These are some of the most untrustworthy bitches. But let's go to a hoe. Let's go to a hoe. Let's go to a hoe. Just a regular run-of-the-mill everyday hoe. She not doing no sex work. She go to actual work. She gets her money regular. But she just likes to fuck a lot. She likes to fuck a lot of people. Now, I could sit here and be like, oh, it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. But let's just paint a picture because, it becomes speculation when you get to like, oh, well, how many buddies? How many? Let's just say something that's really not debatable. Let's just pretend she's in her 20s and she has somewhere in the ballpark of 75 bodies. Let's just pretend that, okay? Let's pretend that so we can't do the, oh, well, you don't know how many bodies she got, or, oh, she got 3-4 bodies. How is she a hoe? Oh. So this is the thing, man. A chick that, the cats say all that pair bonding bullshit and all that shit. Listen, man, it's just simple, man. If she cannot find, commitment from one man, if she cannot gain commitment from one man and stay loyal to that man, and then even on top of that, she has an inclination, a desire to fuck with a lot of different dudes, and also she's conditioned to fuck with a bunch of different dudes, it's going to lead to bad results in the future for her and for the nigga that actually falls for the shit and tries to commit to her. I could tell you a bunch of stories about hoes dogging niggas. There's a viral video of this guy who fucking took this chick out that he was either dating or in a relationship with. He took her to like Turks and Caicos and shit, did the whole hotel room with the flower petals and all types of shit. He paid for the trip. He was nervous. He was really head over heels for this bitch. They get back to the States within a couple days. This chick is talking to other dudes on the phone on some intimate shit while they in the car. And this cat records her and says, I don't know why you disrespecting me like this, talking to other men after all the shit I done did for you. You know what this bitch said? Well, that's because I fuck with them more than I fuck with you. That's a hoe. That's a hoe. I don't know if they're in a relationship or not. If they're in a relationship, that means she's pursuing other men while they're in a relationship. If she's not in a relationship, she's entertaining other dudes while sleeping and being with this guy. Now you could say, oh, that's dating. Hey, man, listen, we're not even going to get that deep into it. We really could. But listen, that's just one story. I could ring off 1 million. For the sake of the video, I'm going to leave it there and just end this part with hoes are destructive when it comes down to it. When a guy, let's say this, when a guy is not sexually pleasing his woman, she's having sex with her boyfriend, he's not sexually pleasing her. You would like to think that all women are the same, but who do you think is going to have an easier time cheating on a man? Just, and this is not for the women because I know y'all, just the logic is going to go fucking, it's not going to be there for you. You're not going to get it. This is for the people who own cocks. Who do you think is going to be more loyal? Do you think a chick who only fucked one dude before, which is unrealistic in this time, but I'm just painting a picture. Do you think a chick who's fucked one dude in this shoe, do you think she's gonna have an easy time going out to get some new cock? Or do you think that the chick who got the 75 bodies, do you think she's gonna have a much easier? She's a fucking pro when it comes to fucking new niggas. Like she did, like that's what she actually does. It's like that's what she's built for. That's what she like. It's like if you take a nigga, just a random nigga that never picked up a basketball and just throw him on the court. This nigga's not going to, and just put him in a 5-on-5, he's not going to do shit. But if you take a nigga that shoots 300 shots a day and been shooting 300 shots a day every day for, nigga, that's skill, nigga. That's skill. Bro, the instinct is baked into this nigga's head from playing the game so fucking much. So if you fucking with a bitch that's been out in these streets, bro, it's just not gonna go for it. So all this like a hoe is sweet and kind, that's fucking bullshit. When you look at what a hoe really is, and then you just think about what type of lifestyle does a hoe have? Do you think that it's healthy and like that it would really go good with monogamy as far as fucking with all this? So all of these like the bitch that said, oh, I'm fucking with all, like, oh, I fuck with these niggas more than I fuck with you. She could have been playing sweet just like the stripper bitches. She could have been the sweetest girl to this nigga until that moment. But yeah, man, we gonna continue, man.
Hoes are really angels. They got a hoe fucked up, nigga. A hoe is everything a man needs. And a woman, when she understand her role,
I'm not gonna drag this. This is some stupid ass shit again. Her role is to get cock from multiple men. That's the role of a hoe. Let's and look, that's it. Let's keep it going.
We ain't understanding our roles. The man ain't understanding his role no more. The woman got the role fucked up. Nigga, the hoe is the only one operating out of nature. But the nigga can't appreciate the hoe because he think this is the bitch. You get me with them bitches, boy, I'm an unruly motherfucker around a bunch of funky bitches. Disrespectful like a motherfucker. Because that's the energy a bitch draw out of a man. A bitch go back and forward. Women won't. Ladies don't. Them bitches will.
Now, all that nature shit, that's stupid shit. I'm not even going back into that because I cooked for about a good 10 fucking minutes. I know I'm dragging this shit. But as far as the whole, at the end, he's trying to do the bitches versus ladies, you know, the classic Tupac, you wonder why they call you bitch, that type of shit. Like, he's trying to do that. He's trying to separate the two. And that's cool. If those are the labels we gonna use and stuff like that, that's cool. I mean, I get it. You know. The only thing I have outside of that is just when it comes to this nigga, man, it's like, it shows you how brain dead the average person is when you go in these comments. When you go in these comments and watch these people say everything that he say is facts, it's just like they throw everything, any bullshit he says, out the window. Just because the first part is true, just because he's talking about how fucked up the thinking of some black women is, that just makes the whole shit true. And this is the thing about the whole shit. The whole shit, we just got to keep it a band. I'm going to keep it 500,000 with you. The whole shit doesn't, you know, attack the man. And this is the other part. You know, the man is not really criticized within this video. He just says the man ain't living up to the roles, but he never talks about the man's role. So this is a video basically down talking, you know, black women, or a specific type of black woman, I guess. And, you know, outside of that, basically saying that the uplifting the hoes, and then talking about bitches versus ladies at the end. That's what the video really is. And just that one part in the middle, that hoes are sweet and kind and all of this shit, and the hoe is gonna be the best thing that a man need. Nigga just trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to fucking tell you that the wheel is a square, that the wheel is an octagon, a pentagon. He's trying to tell you some bullshit. And a nigga like me is just not gonna go for the bullshit. That's just what it is, man. A hoe is not everything a nigga needs, man. When you really think about what a hoe is, do you really want a hoe raising your kids? Let me tell you about something that's going on right now. It's a chick going viral. It's a chick going viral for having her daughter at her waxing business, and her daughter waxed 24 vaginas. Now you may be asking, why would you bring that up? What does that have to do with hoes? This is the thing. When it comes to hoes, you got to look at the OnlyFans shit and stuff like that. They only care about what they care about. They don't really think, they're not even able really to process the detriment that this shit will have on the children. So you look at the OnlyFans shit, you know, it's people who have written to other YouTubers and stuff like that about, man, they're about to commit suicide because, you know, I'm getting bullied about this OnlyFans shit. My mom doing OnlyFans and she just keep brushing off my concerns. And it's like, I can't live with this. I keep going back to school, being made fun of for this. The mom doesn't care and the dad isn't there. Then you got these bitches who got their kids, I'm talking about children, in pole dance classes. This is what happens. These bitches know that they some freaky ass motherfucking smuts. They know they some freaky ass smuts and they like fucking working that pole. They like that. And I'm talking about some viral, this is national, you see this shit everywhere, and then you see chicks justifying it all around the nation type shit. They not gonna keep it 500,000 about why they do it and why they like to do it, how they got drew to it, because hoes are also, you know, I ain't gonna say this. I say that there's a dishonesty to women in general. It's not even a whole thing. It's just when it comes to women, there is a dishonesty to some of them in some aspects. And this is one of those aspects where hoes get dishonest. So with the dishonesty, when you have the conversation, they're not going to be real. They look for ways to justify because they don't see anything wrong with pole dancing. They don't see anything wrong with it, even though the freak shit is what drove them to it. The freak shit and the stripper shit is what made these bitches, just the whole sex appeal and all of that shit. That's what made them want to get on a pole. Yet somehow in they fucking brains, they think that's something to pass down to their kids. They think that's because they don't see, you got to understand, to do that shit, to go into a strip club and get on your, it's got you, the normal woman, the average healthy brain woman has to get through a bunch of mental barriers to do that shit. If a chick goes into a strip club and starts busting it down and she doesn't have to break through any mental barriers, bruh, if there's very little resistance in her mind to the idea of going and busting it, she's not, her mind is fucked. So with that being said, when it comes to these kids and shit, they're going to make excuses and say, man, this is some athleticism shit. This is acrobatics. This is gymnastics. They have whole pole dance tournaments in other countries where they have kids on the pole. Countries that are not America and don't have that a part of the culture. Just countries with completely different culture that are not America, where pole dancing is not synonymous with stripping, which actually drew them into the pole. So they don't see the correlation. They don't see the correlation, and they get disingenuous about it. They will do anything to justify it. They will say anything to justify it. So I say that, and when you look at the whole thing that I mentioned earlier, as far as a fucking kid with the waxing and stuff like that, it comes from that same train of thought where, and don't get it twisted, most women don't agree with the waxing as far as having the kid wax the 24 clients. The kid is, just to give you some perspective, the kid is somewhere between 4 and 6. Waxing the vaginas. See, Child Protective Services is on her ass. There's an article out there. Child Protective Services is on her. So just know that. But that train of thinking, you don't want a hoe raising your kids, bro. You don't want to have to be stepping in because she's making bad decisions, like really horrible decisions. I'll give you another one. There was this chick who had her kid, she got the kid an Uber to go over this other kid's house. The kids is like 12, so that they could have sex. And then she sent him an Uber to come back. She wrote about it on Facebook. One of the things that she said was that the stepdad told her not to do it, but the stepdad is a stepdad. It's not the stepdad's kids. He don't get the final say on what happens with the kids. Another reason not to be a fucking stepdad. But she brags about it on Facebook, and it's the weirdest shit ever. But that's a bad decision. You are thrusting your 12-year-old son into sex. Now, I know a lot of niggas might think, because you know how niggas be when it comes to these teachers fucking these kids. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Even that teacher shit is bad. That shit is bad. The teachers are pedophiles. The female teachers are fucking pedophiles. The niggas shouldn't be fucking that young. I'm gonna just keep it real, bro. I know some of you niggas was fucking when you was 8 and shit like that before you hit puberty and shit. Shout out to you, you fucking stud. You niggas be trying to fucking justify all this shit. It's fucking degeneracy, nigga. That's what it is. I mean, I could keep going deeper, man. We don't even know how them type of niggas turn up, man. We don't know if them niggas turn up to be the motherfuckers with 32 kids and he in only 3 of the kids' lives and shit. Like, we don't know how these cats turn out, man. Anyways, man. Yeah, so this whole clip is some bullshit. I know the clip is like fucking 1 minute and I stretched it to fucking 30. But listen, man, we got off today, man. Yeah, we out.